Okay, I'd like you all that don't know him to welcome Matt Burke. Matt has graciously come to give us a talk on 10 minutes worth of
Hello.
Oh, hi Matt.
Hi Matt. I made this with the idea that this is for people that weren't here last year and we're not familiar with. So obviously the assholes from last year will be like, oh, I've heard of that. So just ignore them while we carry on and we're all going to be happy.
So I just throw up my jokes out the window.
Yes. This is the disclaimer part. Yeah, the disclaimer part.
I come prepared.
But you hopefully, some of these will actually be familiar, but hopefully not all of them won't because they're just amazing books as well. I had an opportunity to bring in a couple of them as well. I didn't bring in all of them because I don't have all of them, nor do I want to bring in an incredibly heavy bag with all of them. But hopefully you will want to read after this. So, I've tried to pick a good variety of stuff. So that's why, like, if you're thinking about this, can you see? Can you read?
Yeah, we can.
Is it clear?
Yeah. I can't read this.
It's the drugs. So, has anyone ever heard of Joe Sacco?
No.
Well, a few people haven't, but that's the point of this one. Joe Sacco is a graphic journalist. He goes to different parts of the world and he draws comics about them. One of the best ones, I couldn't actually find any fucking Google images for it. It was Complacency Kills, who did it for the Guardian newspaper a couple of years ago, about 2006. And that style is completely different to Palestine and the other books like Nuts in Gaza and what are those? Yes? Yeah. Okay, anyway.
This is your thing.
So this guy, he pretty much visits like Palestine and then he just like gets involved with a whole bunch of people and then just writes comic about it. And it's completely just all true. It's just telling everyone else's story, telling the story of what's happening, what's going on. They're incredibly beautiful books. They're incredibly detailed as well. They're just amazing. Like this is 2 pages and there's so much going on. It's just street square and crazy asshole shit going on. But the thing about it is, I thought he was quite limited in his style. I thought it was always this kind of like this crazy jumbled up. Like even corporate kind of people like just wandering around and all these stories. But the thing about Complacency Kills is it shows that he's not limited to this style, which is quite fucking incredible. In Complacency Kills, it's different to the other ones. All the other ones is going to like villages and cities and different things, and playing with the local people, doing local stories and kind of running around the markets and things all around the world. In Complacency Kills, he's going off in a Hummer with the American Army. Kind of like bomb squads like this, or kind of a strike squad. It's only about 2 or 3 of them, and it's incredibly rigid. It's really, really clear, and like it's incredibly like delineated, and like every panel is clean, every panel is square, and it's amazing just to read. It's very clean. This is very, very heavy, but it is beautiful to read. So go read it. Next is Bone. This is Bone. It's written by Jeff Smith. There are 1,333 pages in this. And this is. How many words?
6.
1, 2, 3. This is the Lord of the Rings comics, and it's just divine.
It's better than.
Yes, it is. That's actually my full opinion. It's absolutely fantastic. Mostly because it doesn't bore you to fuck. It's like every character is fucking beautiful. Every character is amazing. And when it started, was this guy, Jeff Smith, started drawing these other guys. You can't really see here. See this guy here? This is the main character. This is Bone. And he's got 2 friends, Phony Bone and Funny Bone. What do you want to call? And pretty much it starts off, and they're being ran out of town at Boneville. And they get run over this cliffside into this whole new world, essentially this. And the whole epic adventure takes place in this place. You never ever get to see Boneville. The whole point of the book is getting back home, back to Boneville. It never happens, which is awesome. I shouldn't have ruined that. Why? I should be doing this stuff. But it's absolutely phenomenal book in the sense that like it incorporates so many themes and so much adventure and so much comedy and beautiful. So much drama, so many relationships, and everyone has weight, everything is beautiful. I mean, even opening a random page, you can see just how dark you can get as well, even visually, just the lighting sequences. It can get very, very scary as well. It's a genuine fantasy horror book, but with pathos and drama and just like a lot of literary weight. I mean, it's fucking just classic. This is apparently the most famous page from the book. I didn't know anything about it until I was looking after I read it. I just picked it up bookshelf because I thought it was cool. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to reading up to Dragon. Dragon's really cool. So here, Bone, he's in, okay, this is fantastic. So the page before this, Bone realises he's in this land, he's settled in. Then winter comes, it's this one sheet literally falls, and it's winter. So he's running away from the rat creatures in the snow. These are rat creatures chasing him along here. There's a massive waterfall. He jumps, lands a tiny twig. The captain reads, fucking resolution. Something along the lines of, here we go. It's in the first few pages. That's the bump of the sheet of snow.
Those rat creatures would have to be pretty stupid to follow me onto this
tiny
little
frayed little branch. Stupid rat creatures! See, it's like, even at that, like, it's very, very simple jokes, and it's just, you will find yourself fucking laughing out loud, and then just crying at the horrible turns, and the rat creatures are amazing. The rat creatures are fucking class. I won't go on too much because we'll run separate time, I'll just bore you. Cerebus, which is 9B. So you can see what this is about. Cerebus is another kind of fantasy adventure book written by an English guy called Dave Sim.
An English misogynist called Dave Sim.
And it's a much darker story, and it's like in the medieval times, I guess, where it's very political as well, very, very dark. Cerebus is an aardvark in kind of a human world, I guess, and he's an asshole adventurer, kind of a knight, and he kicks ass. And it's fucking brilliant. The reason why it's 9B is because it's in the same, I suppose, genre. But it's this huge epic tome as well. Like, it has a beginning and end, like a lot of modern ones. It's pretty great. So you do have a full story, so it's fucking brilliant. So these two books, they can be compared, but they're not actually very similar. But it's very good. Mouse Guard. This is a personal favourite. This is a children's book. I found it in the children's section, not because I was looking for books. And it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, because it's one of the most adult and mature comics that I've read in a long time. This is preceding Battle, where these two boys go down the hole looking for something. This lads, I think his name's Liam. He's outside. I read about David Peterson. Liam's outside, keep an eye out, and the snake comes on. The preceding page is one full page of this huge big snake just like coiled and ready to come down on Liam. And he's like, this is all just game as well. This guy's incredible. So Liam attacks the snake, drives the sword through its head while it's trying to bite him, and finds himself stuffed into its mouth, and these boys have to come along while it's still struggling alive and to cut him out. But in this one very short action sequence, you can really get to grips with these amazing characters that they show no fear, and they're trying to defend. Like, these are good guardians in Mouse Guard. So they guard the path back to the home of the mice that are just in the way. And this is like all these trade routes from different villages and things. Of course, things get lost in the way, so people have to go out and find out where they're lost. This time, the reason why it's important this week, why they're out there, is because the map got lost. And the map is very important. And the Black Guard then are right, because the map is lost, probably the black. But it's all conspiracy, which is great. But again, it's even though it's actually a training session, and it can be read by John, it is again layered with beautiful themes, incredible artwork, and incredible maturity. Like, technically speaking, for a comic artist, like it's not lazily drawn, it's not lazily thought about. The layout is just fantastic. Again, even the flow of action just is phenomenal. 8B, Astro City. Astro City. I'm flying through this. Yeah. Has anyone read Astro City? Or heard of Astro City? Couple, 2, 3. Astro City is Kurt Busiek's superhero comics, if they were good. Astro City is this incredible book. The one that I really like is I think it's called Family Memories. It focuses on the first family, which is a very obvious rip-off of Fantastic Four. There's no doubt about it, it's a parody. They all look exactly the same. They are Fantastic Four for name. But the reason why it's so beautiful is the story begins, and it shows them all in the like the Baxter building, kind of like hideout, and they get ready. It's like, oh my god, we got the call. There's a massive thing going on, and Jesus, let's go out and fight. And while you see them going out fighting, it's like the camera just kind of focuses in on the daughter, the child. And she just, the story follows her and her day. And her parents are off fighting fucking aliens, like Galactus. And so she's going about her day, and these guys finish up with these guys and come back and like, they think the kid's gone, got lost, run off, whatever. So the story just follows the drama of the family and the basic kind of human story behind it, even though they're not superpowers and stuff. And every single story has a hero and a villain in garish, gaudy costumes. But it always follows the human story behind it. And it's absolutely just heartbreaking, humbling, and beautiful. Kirby's quotes are just phenomenal. My favourite one, there's all different series, like, there's loads of different books, and you can follow the stories for different international. My favourite one is The Confession. And it's this priest and an altar boy that are a superhero, and I wasn't in it children's section. But he's got a huge cross and blazing across his chest. And the other thing that he's draped head to toe in black carpet in his eyes. And there's just this incredible story of kind of redemption and between the character and what he's trying to get at. Essentially it's kind of like, it's a rip-off of Batman. Like what Kirk does is he gets all the people that you see and that are very obvious, and he puts them in a situation and gives them really human stories. So this guy, he's a genuine priest. He's got a very, very tragic story to tell. And there's just the most wickedly beautiful twist in the end. Like, fucking, so good! And then he's like, oh, I'm not going to please guys. It's just, I would highly recommend Confession or Life in Big City or Family Values or something. I mean, this Jack in the Box stories, he's this pathetic villain at times, and he's an amazing hero at times. He follows all these different types of family and different generations. And one of the best things about Extra Series are the Alex Ross covers. Alex Ross is a painter in comics. He's just unparalleled. He's the best. Lone Wolf and Cub. Who here has read Lone Wolf and Cub? 1, 2, right. This is 3. This is high priority. These are pocket size and they're cheap. You'll all go out and buy your first issue of Lone Wolf and Cub from Amazon. Shane, I haven't had this speaking. This is set in Edo period Japan, and Edo is Tokyo. It's like when the feudal Japan. And this guy on the cover is Ogami Ito, and the boy in the character is Daigoro. This is written by Kazuo Koike and drawn by Kozeki Fujimi. They've done those things. This is heavily researched. It's the most genuine story that you find based on one of the most genuine stories you find set in that period. It's a historical tome, as well as this being one of the most epically awesome fucking samurai books you've ever read. It's like, again, this overarching, across 40 volumes, there's this one basic story. But in every single issue collected into this small world, there's a few small stories as you follow the path. It starts with, that's a beautiful image to start, where he's a runner. Lone Wolf, we're getting into it, he's a runner because a runner is a masterless samurai. And so his wife and other daughters, no, it's his wife gets killed. The other shit hits the fan, and he has to go on with it, and he decides to become samurai for hire. And a lot of badassery ensues. But again, it's incredibly detailed. Like these Japanese guys are just insane. The amount of detail they can put into one panel. Here's an amazing page actually. This is chasing these, where. And even this is one of the huge action scenes all this stuff happening. The action isn't central to the book. The whole point of it is the duty and honor bound, just kind of like life of samurai and stuff. And just like having to follow that path, even though you're a path of revenge. The whole point of it is revenge, getting revenge. It's helping people this long monologues of just like in samurai films, you know, they stop and they think about things. There's loads of that. Like, but again, it's so short and curt and just so sharp that you don't get bogged down in anything. You get lost in it and you just can't stop turning pages. Again, pocket size, cheap, these guys are they're a master of drama and relationships. Again, having all these different characters just coming together and having brief interludes and beautiful interactions. And then these enormous, beautiful kind of like tapestries of gore. Like they're just incredible, you know. Not only they're amazing sequences, but just even the flow of panels, technically speaking, again, like where you just see snippets of all these limbs being cut off and just people being gored. It's just not the violence, but just the flow, technically speaking. It's phenomenal, beautiful. Like it's like I didn't put it down as 7B, but sorry, 6B. But I should have. Was Kenshiro Tomo's Akira. This made into a film as well. They make money in the film at the same time. If you read Akira, it's a huge, big volume, so they're quite large, and you literally read 100 pages in 5 minutes. Just like you're ripping through the action there. And again, everyone refers back to Kenshiro Tomo because he's just the master of action. Kenshiro Burke is the master of samurai and shit. And like, there's been an awful lot of people that copied him throughout the years. Like Frank Miller was incredibly inspired by this. Frank Miller wrote Ronin, based on this essentially. Frank Miller did all the covers as well for the American releases. Frank Miller did an awful lot for manga and printing it in the US actually. But Frank Miller's a dickhead now, so okay. How big is it? It's like the biggest anime.
Is there any comic book for it? Different volumes or?
Yeah, there's like 6 or 7 volumes, and each of them about an inch and a half thick, and they're quite large as well.
You can kill them.
You can kill them.
Most of them.
We'll get back to this in a minute. One of my favourite books that I read this year is Blankets. Thanks, Hooper. This is Craig Thompson, and you will never, ever, ever read a book like this ever again until you get to his other book, which is the BBC, which was released like last week. But Blankets was released back in 2006. 2003. Shit, 2 years old. This was not serialized. It is a complete and total. Not wrong though. I'm pretty sure it wasn't serialized. But it's essentially it's an autobiography between up 2 periods in his life when he was a child and kind of the coming of age teen story. And it's the child's memories are generally all based around kind of like his bed and his brother and his family and stuff, and his fucked up family, his home family. And the teenage stuff is when he went off to Christian camp. I fucking hate that shit. Sorry, I hate religions. But he goes off to Christian camp and he meets this girl, and there's a whole bunch of the small group of them that are all kind of questioning the religious folk, and they have no just Christian ideas. So they start hanging out, and essentially this amount of the book is the love story between the two. And like essentially he goes to visit her after Christian camp. He visits her, and the bulk of the book is then the 2 weeks that they spend together, and it's truly one of the most the best written development of a relationship between 2 people I've ever seen in any media. It's one of the most beautifully drawn stories I've ever read. Craig Thompson is, without a shadow of a doubt, the finest storyteller I've ever come across in any medium. I don't even hesitate in saying it. It's just breathtakingly beautiful. He masters every kind of technical aspect of comic style, like in like clean regular drama, like block by block panelization. Then fast-paced, tense sequences where things are just racing fast. And the religious iconography, the religious themes, and he gives them with like such wonderful humility, and it's fine. It's absolutely beautiful. And there's amazing sequences where, right, there's a point here where he's in bed with his brother, and the little lad licks his finger and touches his brother. He's like, hey, what's that? See, I peed on you again. What? Two can play that game. If you peed on me, then I can pee on you. But it's only a joke, it was my finger. Don't be such a wuss, I'm going to pee one drop. That's impossible. If you can do it, so can I. But it's faking. I was faking. Nobody can pee just one drop. Don't pee me. Well, this is an experiment. And then it shows this wonderful cutout of urethra and all the different parts of it. And we have the peritoneum urachus, right urethra, transition urethra, internal urethra, orifice, prostate gland urethra, internal urethra, sphincter muscle. And this massive gush beneath it. And the poor kid is just lying, covered with piss, sobbing. And again, he turns around and starts pissing his brother. So the two of them are going at it like fucking animals. And their mother comes in and there's one tiny panda who's holding speakers and that's just, oh my god. Bookstore, I was going in to get books. So we were lucky it was Mom who came upstairs that night. Which tells you something. In the first few pages you can see the horrible things that the dad does. Again, even in the small moments, the more, I suppose, the memories, the quicker, the faster moments, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. I think this is about 30 quid. It took me a long time. I never bought it. I bought it and it was very expensive. I don't think Subsidy will be bringing it in. It's a new version of these.
It's actually like
oh yes. This is in the energy library. So.
And you read it in like, you just fly through it.
Yeah, you will. You read it in like 2 or 3 hours. Just get it, read it, bring it back, and tell the next person, tell your friend, this is in the library, go get it. It's amazing. This is a new book, Habibi. This is. I'm going to read you a sample from this book that I got last week. This is published last Monday. This is 1001 comics you must read before you die. I didn't cheat, I swear. It's me cheating. Huh? I know. Habibi was released on the 22nd of September of this year, and it's his brand new book. Okay, so Thompson brilliantly combines each of these strands of calligraphy and pictures and lettering to create unity through diversity, the key Islamic concept and a central theme of the novel. Habibi is a transformative journey for both its characters and the reader, a uniquely immersive visual and literary encounter with a cultural other that has original things to say. It is a compelling experience that builds vital bridges between past and present, art and nature, love and faith. It will change the way you think about comics. Again, it's based around these two people, the guy and girl. It's a classic, like Arabian Nights, Arab myth or story that Craig Thompson took and used. Apparently, kind of recently, it's been adapted into numerous different things. There's a film at the Asani Film Festival where the Habibi story was set in Gaza. But this is kind of set in a really strange mishmash of modern day kind of things, but with in kind of like the Arab world as well, but like so that it's kind of cool. But again, you should try and check it out. I got it for £10 on Amazon, so get on that. Next is Jimmy Corrigan, The Smartest Guy on Earth. This is the most important comic of the last 11 years because it was one of the first ones that was published by book publishers. And if not for this and sets, It's a Good Life for Young Weekend. This is written by Chris Ware, and these two books were published at the same time around 2000. And the reason they're so important is because comics hadn't been published by book publishers before. Bookstores weren't posting like literary comics that wasn't informative. And this was originally collected in Chris Ware's Happy Knowledge Library. So he's this crazy accent book where he just has all this weird, ridiculously strange comics. And this is either going to be one of the most beautiful and tragic things I've ever read, or one of the most boring and hateful things I've read. I've had varying opinions come back to me. It's kind of insane. He's technically mind-boggling. Like, If you get the hardcover, the softcover versions in libraries, I'll get the one in the library. The hardcover one comes with, like, you open it up, you take up the dust jacket. The dust jacket is a map of the world and the 3 generations of people that it deals with and how they intersect and interconnect. And it's a comic in this huge big map, and how they all developed and kind of like went around the world, where they went to, how they came back. And it's essentially the 3 generations. So it's the granddad from when he was a child up, and the dad when he was a child up, and the son, this guy, and mostly his adult life. But they're all incredibly pathetic characters, and they all go through incredibly pathetic and tragic lives. And it's really, really damn good. Like, technically, again, like, I don't know. Like, at times as well, there's another picture I can use. This amazing, like, say this is a page, right? It'd be one image. It'd be like just a picture of a house, and it'd be broken up into panels. And each panel is a different time zone, a different time frame, through the century or whatever that was around. There's pizza going around. Do you bring one pizza between the and you're sharing it with one, 2
You're sharing a little bit.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Did they come that way?
yeah.
Sorry.
And but the page I'm talking about, anyways, like, this is went to great effect as well. Like, it'll have all these different time periods in one image. So you'll see, like, a horse and cart going through one frame, but of course in the next frame, you see the frame of the house, and the next frame you see the roof on the house. So the whole scene is created and built. So you're getting context, you're getting a story, and you're getting an incredible image all through this one page. And it's one very basic thing. It's just a house through the ages. It's getting built up, and there's some values going into it. But again, if you take away the frame, it's just a house. He's a master at layout and recognition of the availability of the media. It's just incredible what he does. He really plays with time and space as well. The way he guides your eye around the palace is just incredible. I can't say enough about it. It's just phenomenal. It's in the library. Get it. Try and finish it. Seriously, it's worth it. But again, one of the most important books to the library. Prosopopus is a silent comic. This has no dialogue. It was a gift to me from a friend who was away traveling. And he was like, "Oh, I got your comic." And I was like, "Oh, cheers." Then I read it, I was like, "Oh, it's going to be shit now." And it turned out to be one of the best things I've ever read. So nothing for him, he didn't get some shit. It's indescribable. I'm actually very afraid to try and describe it all. It's a horror thriller. No, there's no horror. It's very fucked up. Is what it is. So there's a guy, and he has a girlfriend, and the mob. Set in New York. The mob are using this guy. The girlfriend's a painter. The mob are ripping off the paintings, and she signs her paintings with thumbprint. So the mob want the thumbprint. That's how it starts. And in a way, they get the thumbprint. And then revenge. Then there's flashbacks of horrible, horrible sex. And it's horrible. Okay, you can think. Okay, technically, to go back to why it's amazing is because the storytelling in it is just phenomenal. It gets really, really crazy and weird. Oh yeah, the most important things about it, he gets haunted by this weird fucking muppet. That's what that is. It's this real thing that he's not hallucinating. It's there. And smokes cigars and sits in his room and eats his fucking beans. It's just he's a bollocks that starts cutting up the people that chase after him. It's an amazing sequence where the 2 mobfuckers come back and they want the money. And this again, it's just a scene where they come and the Muppet defends the guy who's standing there naked. It's just a bookstore. I was going to. I'm not obsessed with naked children and things. The thing about that book is today. with Japanese, there's lots of naked children in there.
Anything Japanese.
Yeah. Got a problem. So anyway, the reason these two pages are actually fantastic is if you look at the way, if you think about it like cinematic, and imagine this as a series of panels of film. It can't work, technically. This is the reason why comics can't be adapted to film. Because visually, on the page, each frame is relative to the next frame, even though it's in one sequence. So you're changing the complete angle from the perspective of the person, but you're following it linearly. So within the room, the perspective changes all these different ways, but the linear focus of the viewer, or the reader, is one fluid motion. So you've got two guys coming in, they swipe the guy. The important part comes here. This guy rips this guy's head off. This guy's looking down at the floor, and the floor is away from him. It's not in the same plane as them. These two panels aren't spatially relative, but they're temporally relative and visually relative. So if you follow his eyes, even the splatters of blood are guiding you towards the head in a perfect, wonderful line all the way down to the head. And then back down here, you see the line that the eyes are leading up from here. So again, he draws you back down to here. You're naturally drawn to the eyeline or something of a character visually, and so this is the first thing you see with the eyes. So you pulled right down here. What he's looking up at is not this, of course. He's looking at the next panel, which is the Muppet who's holding the character in the corner of the room and smashing his head through the roof up into the granny's carpet, which is like breaking it down. It's like it's technically brilliant. I mean, you can speed through it in 10 seconds and know exactly what's going on. But if you break it down and think about it, it's just technically beautiful. I mean, he's really thought about what he's doing. It's not just I'll draw a few patterns of action sequences. I mean, the reason why this is in a comic format is because this is purely comics based. This could never be on screen to the same effect. Moving on. The Incal. Who's ever heard of the Incal? Hi. The Incal is French. That's actually a French comic. He's Belgian. It's the other French comic. The Incal is one of the most important. Actually, with 2P. Arzak. The reason why the Incal and Arzak are very important is because of Mobius. Wow. Okay. Right. Let's just start here. Okay. The Incal.
David Tennant.
Wow. So, Jodorowsky and Mobius. Jodorowsky is this French philosopher filmmaker. You look him up on Wikipedia and it says nothing about writing comics because it's incredibly important for everything else. Jodorowsky. 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 I just said it. I'm going to say it again. Right. So, Jodorowsky and Mobius, right? And they got together and they did the Incal together, which is this fucked up, futuristic, pornographic, political thriller, comedy, porno romance, incestuous, mindfuck of a comic. Any more adjectives?
With crayons, huh?
No, it's definitely not.
Do you read any comics that are nice and happy?
That's not
He did say that wasn't there yet. Your t-shirt's happy.
So this is it's hilarious as well. Each what they do, the Incal is one story, and then they're going to do like a sequel and a prequel and all these different things. They all start the same. They all start with John DeFoo falling from Suicide Alley. It's a vertical city as well. So he keeps falling either because he's pushed or because he's trying to commit suicide. So they all begin the same way. And it's absolutely fucking hilarious because you've got these fat motherfuckers who line up to shoot them before they can die. Because it's a pastime of the rich to kill them before they get the chance to commit suicide. But that's French comics. But the reason why it's important is because it's a mindfuck. It's amazing, and it's just it paved the way for everything. in sci-fi at that point that went a bit crazy. I mean, it's influenced an awful lot. When was it published? The 70s? 70s? Like the first one was published in the 70s. The final Incal was published in 2006. Mobius with the Incal and Arzak. Arzak's a silent comic. You should definitely look it up and download it and read it because it's phenomenal. Again, he's a fantastic storyteller. You'll recognise this image from Heavy Metal. Mobius was one of the founding members of the Metal Are Raw, which is the French version, the good version, and then the English version was good in the beginning. Heavy Metal, that just became porn. It's still got good things, I suppose. But Mobius is really important because he's a phenomenal artist. You can actually look at him on YouTube, drawing on slate computers and stuff. You can see the huge projections and stuff. And he's mind-boggling, just amazing. But again, his storytelling is fantastic. He's inspired everyone. Him and Jodorowsky designed Doom, the film, before it was shut down, before the one was actually made by Lynch. And I think they were taking elements like that's, but Ridley Scott knew about Mobius, and Mobius designed Blade Runner, and loved it. And
then Luc Besson of his design of Blade Runner
for that. And there was something else as well where Luc Besson actually didn't look it up because.
Was it silver?
Hmm?
Was it silver?
No, apparently Luc Besson had written it at the same time. And Mobius took the quote because he literally ripped off everything he's done and without crediting. And Luc Besson had the scripts in his stamped address down below with the date and saying land, which is good. But like Fifth Element is a good one. But again, like these guys, they're so wacky weird, and like the French like comics are just bizarrely alien because we're all too used to Anglo-American comics where the colour schemes are very rigid and defined. We don't even realise this until you move out of that medium and to go to French comics, and European comics, and it's hilarious and weird and crazy. Everything has penises. It's massive doors. I'm not obsessed, but it's hilarious. But they're like the thing about the reason why I mention it is because they're liberated and they don't have any kind of issues with sexuality and nudity, so which makes for much stronger storytelling because you can have like hilarious things happen between two naked characters and it actually makes a difference because they're naked. Because you can get the idea. It's liberated. It's fun. It's hilarious, and it's technically brilliant. I want to keep talking about it. Shit. And one beat, which is sitting class.
Good first choices.
So, what are you doing? Who's that? There you go. So, a few people here are saying, yay, because Mysterious Bottle, published in the summer of 2009, is the greatest comic you will ever read. The greatest comic you will ever read.
Don't look back, hope Italian gets you.
The name you should remember is David Mazzucchelli, Mysterious Bob. I'll be finished, I'm going to go now. Mysterious Bob is from the Dust Jacket to the Just Jacket. Very through and through, every single element of it is part of the story and relevant and just beautiful. I'm repeating myself now by saying technically brilliant, but this shows you exactly why. David Mazzucchelli, by the way, just for a bit of history, he started off and he got very famous very fast. He drew, for Frank Miller, he drew Batman Year One. And then for Frank Miller again, he drew Daredevil Born Again. Two fucking brilliant comics.
What was the second?
Daredevil Born Again. They're one of the most important Daredevil stories. And I read this year because I was like, oh, yeah. And blew me away. It is absolutely fucking brilliant, and it just reaffirms just how awesome Frank Miller was and how shit he is now, and how fucking vitriolic it would be for him losing his fucking spine. So, Mysterious Bob, David Mazzucchelli, he got really famous with Daredevil and Batman, and Marvel and DC were all over these guys saying, "Oh, we want you so bad." And he's like, I I kind of want to do my own thing. So 20 years later, he came out with Mysterious Polyp. In the meantime, he was doing his own small self-published stuff. And like, this is the zenith, this is the peak. This is for me what everything, what all comics have led towards. This is the proof that Marvel and DC don't actually understand comics. They don't know what they're doing with comics. That's not the first new stuff because I'm ready.
Still? They give you a bag of it.
No, it was like last week. It wasn't busy. Like again, with exception, there's still a few stories that figure out. It's like, okay, James Williams III and Batman and stuff, and some of the Batman Black Glove stuff is, he's again an exception to the rule that Marvel and DC have fucking clue what they're doing in comic books. This is breathtakingly beautiful. What we have here is a house party, an academic party of lecturers in the college room. And each person at the party is represented differently by their chosen academic study. So we have like a scientist, we have a literary person, or maybe a false person, I don't know, a topography person. We have like, I don't know, some crazy shit. Everyone's represented differently. There's a page in this fucking book, a chapter break, with 16 different apples. And each one is drawn differently. And like, this guy is a master of what he does. So what's actually happening here, we've got a house party. In 1961, Hannah Sillington did her first faculty party. She didn't know anyone there, but one person caught her eye. So this is Hannah. She's drawn this beautifully delicate sketch. And Mysterious, the main character, the protagonist of the story, he's very rigid structure, very kind of, he's an architect. And these colour schemes, the sign and the magenta, represent the personalities as well. Like not only is their body type and their person, but more so represents their personality and how they exhibit themselves. And here he's beside himself and me, this beautiful girl. Like, I was like, hey, look at me over here. Like, he's better trying to get his attention. This is when they first meet. And he's very definitely silent, she's very definitely magenta. Moving on from that, they're moving into it, and they've been together for a few years, they're almost married at this stage. I think they are married at this stage. Look at the palette's changed completely, the colours are mingling. The reds and the blues, they're not quite as dominant anymore, they're blending. There's even greens at times. This, of course, is an obvious thing that they're two characters, two personalities blending and coming together and unifying and becoming that beautiful couple that they are. And again, this is a very basic competition as they're moving into it and moves on. This is an argument. And they get reduced back into their defined original descriptions of themselves. You know, the rigid architect and the red kind of artist herself as well. And obviously he's in her space. The entire room is drawn in her style. It's her space, and he's invading it, like he's this alien invasion. And that's just a quick sample of their relationship. The story, it starts with Asterios at home in his flat. Hannah has left him, they were separated. And by sheer coincidence, the flat goes on fire. He has to run away. He grabs three things. He runs out the door. And he doesn't know what to do himself. He gets in the books and just goes. He's depressed. His life means nothing. He can't. It's just his life's a mess. And it is a Greek journey in the sense, in the classic sense of the word. This is a Greek story in Rome as well. I mean, there's an unbelievable amount of themes well, duality is a very strong theme. Identity. It's narrated by his dead twin, who died in the womb. It's everything. I mean, there's an awful lot of very, very obvious references to Greek stories and Greek ideas and Greek icons. There's also ones that are just very, very, you really wouldn't know what to look it up. And I had to look it up. Polyp, which can be one thing, which flows from the earth, or family, it's a Greek family, Asterios Polyp, Asterios meaning star. So, in the book there's a reference to, this is why I wrote the book, because basically it doesn't hold your hand and doesn't like that, you know, it's there for you if you want to look up and find out. In the book anyways, there's a reference made to the Greek family coming off the boat onto outside. Like he sees first generation Americans, so his parents were Greek, they come off the boat and that's his name, Palpines. Doesn't even say his name, sorry, so the story refers to the fact that the name was cut in half and they were left with Pop. The reference there that isn't mentioned is that the name being cut in half, you can assume it's Palpines. Palpines is the Cyclops from the story. So we all know the sheep and the ring around. But that's incredibly relevant to Styrios' journey and the story that he's in and what happens to him, and it's just fucking incredible. But every step along the way as well, there's all these hints and nods and all these different things. If you in your second reading, it's so much more from apparently because it's layered and laboured with meaning and references, and it's quite possibly the very best comic you'll ever read if you take the time to enjoy it. And Gary's not even agree with you for the first thing he said.
And I really like how that provides superheroes. Yes, I love it. That's really awesome.
I think there's only been one printing so far, so please buy it.
It's available. Debray is selling copies of it.
Debray has the odd copy here and there, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about 30 quid, isn't it?
It doesn't have a story.
It's cheaper.
This is
My one was around 20, and I bought Debray's
you got it for 20 quid?
around 20.
It wasn't
30.
It wasn't 22, 24.
Yeah, it wasn't
Actually,
30.
if I can suggest to anyone, but just all the comics that I'm about to just run through very quickly now as well, over anything else, Mysterious Polyp is definitely the one to get over anything else. Nobody will regret it. Doesn't matter what type of comic you like reading, you will appreciate something in this book. This is the greatest comic that I can build up and build your expectations on, and they will be met and exceeded. It is incredible. This one is Mazgale again. The reason why it's easy to get my Mazgale again, but this is very, very much about. You can see his style is completely different here. It's very technical as well. He's limited by the 9-panel layout. But what he does with the 9-panel layout is phenomenal as well. We've got one page where we have looking at his window, and again, it's a huge series of it. It's looking at his window. He's looking to see some buildings. The buildings become a maze. The buildings become a fingerprint. The thumbprint is the thumbprint on the window. It leads on to his thing as he walks away. I mean, he's a master at timeline and chronology and space and time, and that's wonder why he doesn't get much time yet. But like even here as well, like this is a deconstruction of comics as part of the story, where the gutters are prison, or speech balloons releases from the prison, and can, like words can get you out of the prison that you're in. Here he is completely destroyed by his prison. He's at his table. He's a writer. This is Paul Auster, the character. The name as well of the writer. This book is adapted from the original City of Glass by Paul Auster's novel, part of the New Trilogy. And the foreword by Eric Spiegelman is one of the greatest fucking things you read about comics, isn't it? Because Eric Spiegelman was a guy who wrote maps, and for like 20 or 30 years he pretty much said there's no point having a separate writer and artist. Only one creator can make a real comic. This kind of proved him wrong, not only in the fact that you can have separate writer artists, but also you can have a good adaptation of something from one medium to another, from a novel to a comic book, and the comic is better. The comic thrives in the fact that it is a very visual story based on the themes of identity and language, very much so, language and identity. The story is, this guy's a writer, Paul Auster, and he writes mystery novels because he was very famous, he was very good, but then became a hack just to make money after his wife and daughter died. And so he writes shitty mystery novels. No.
Someone else is the guy that they're looking for Paul Auster to check.
That's what getting to that. I usually fix my points after that.
No.
That's fine. Good job. What Gary was just saying was, his name isn't Paul Auster, but his character is Paul Auster. But somebody rings up looking for Paul Auster, the PI, or the investigator, and he goes like, yeah, okay, that's me, I'll just go on with it. And he gets involved in this really weird and fucked up story. Explain it!
There's a child, Postmodern. Pretty much, yeah.
It's again another like incredibly important buy. Like even look at this where you've got like again very, very limited he's writing in the structure of 9 panels and he uses it so incredibly effectively. We've got like panels falling away into the fire, which of course is the pages from the book that he's writing, which are the story that he's in. It's just awesome. See also Persepolis, Jar Fools in Berlin, Black Hole and Extat, The Quitter, American Splendor. This is Marjane Satrapi, which is a autobiography of an Iranian girl who gets, she leaves around so she can have a real life in France. It's horrible, it's brilliant, it's beautiful. Jar Fools in Berlin is Jason Lutz. Jar Fools is one of the best dramas you read about senile magician. Berlin is a period piece set in Berlin, like around early 20th century. Black Hole is a story of mutants. It's sexually transmitted mutational disease, but not in the classic X-Men where like, yeah, the powers. No, it's beautiful. It's amazing.
This is the artwork.
It's Charles Burns.
10 years.
It may possibly be in the library, so.
It is. You're right. Get it from the library. It's these kids get horrible mutations with their ostracized from their club, and it's just amazing. Extant is this new one, which is weird Tintin on acid. The Quitter is this one, Harvey Peaker and Dean Haspiel. Dean Haspiel wrote another brilliant one called The Alcoholic. Look at The Alcoholic. This is one of the best fucking self-hate books you ever read. American Splendor is by the same guy, the same writer, which is Harvey Peaker. He died years ago, and it was the first time somebody famous died that affected me, and I was actually sad. Parker the Hunter is by Darwin Cook. The original novels were by someone else. There's two books out of The Hunter and The Outfit. The Hunter is the best crime comic you will ever fucking read. It's actually just, it's superb. It's a literary comic, it's not just slap away. I mean, I finished The History of Violence, which is really good, but The Hunter is just a phenomenal. It's a kind of the anti-hero thing where you just go around beating women. It's great. I hate women. The Outfit again is a sequel. Epileptic is by David B. It's another autobiography. He's French. It's a French artist writer. It's an autobiography about his life growing up with his epileptic brother. It's incredibly good. Stitches is by David Small. David Small is it? David Small. And this that. It happens rarely in comics where you turn a page and go, "Whoa!" It happens in Stitches. It's what I mean, he's a children's artist for children's books, but he wrote this short one of the, oh my god, it's so good. Another short autobiography, Fun Home, another autobiography, Alison Bechdel, about her life as growing up as a lesbian. And Exit Wounds, which is sort of here, Rutu Modan. It's just this really weird whodunit and love story at the same time, it's phenomenal, etc. Just talk to Gareth or me, we have plenty to recommend. Is there anything else? Thanks! Hey. Here's 1,001 more. This was published a few days ago. It's one of the best books I've ever read. It's incredible.
How much is it?
I got it for £10 on Amazon. Yeah, so it's £20 on the cover, £10 on Amazon. My fucking Jesus Christ! Get a stereo and get this, because you'll be like, oh wow, that sounds cool. Wish list. Calvin and Hobbes. It's so good. It's everything, and you know you're going to find something there. It's just like Persepolis in here. You can find everything you want. Scott Pilgrim in there. Like, why would I try and tell you 1,001 titles? Read it. Okay. Here you go, have a look.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you, Matt.